Well, hello again. Welcome to So Into Bourbon. I'm Glenn. This is Charlie. Charlie, why don't you tell them what we have on the bar tonight?
We're excited tonight. We are finally getting around to reviewing Green River and a single barrel at that.
Okay, so Green River single barrel.
Yes.
They just started the single barrel program, I believe, in 2023.
Super excited about it.
Could be wrong about that. Check me on that. This is the first store pick from Johnos, which is a famous liquor store in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
Super famous, awesome place. If you're going through central Kentucky, you need to stop there because it's awesome.
You can find just about whatever you want there.
Just about whatever you want.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. We haven't done anything from Green River yet.
We haven't, and the last year they have really, exploded. That's the only word for it. Like, they are taking the bourbon world by storm. First of all, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Second of all, let's talk about how gorgeous this bottle is.
Like, pretty bottle.
It's amazing. It's got a faux tack strip, flat front and rounded. It's beautiful. It is.
Has the horseshoe motif, which you probably can't see on the camera, but it's in the glass.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
And awesome. A brand new distillery, right? It just popped up out of nowhere?
No, not really. So what? Green River actually started in 1885.
Oh, it's one of those.
Founded by J.W. McCulloch, if you know who that is.
Yep, big J-Dubs.
I've got some notes here, and because we've never done a Green River, we're going to talk about the distillery.
And you're watching because you want to know, so absolutely. Sit back and enjoy.
Yeah. So 1907, it was the most advertised whiskey in the world.
Really?
Who knew? 1913 becomes the official whiskey of the U.S. Marine Hospital. So
that's right, Marine.
Before they sawed your leg off.
If you're feeling down, have some Green River there, chap.
Suck down some Green River before you saw my leg
off. And have a lucky
off.
strike. Yeah. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend lucky strikes.
1915 was widely advertised as the whiskey without a headache for its premium quality. 1918, and I feel like this is kind of a broken record for most distilleries that's been around for a couple of 100 years.
Did it catch on fire?
Yes, burnt down.
Gone.
So anyway, it was rebuilt in 1933, blah, blah, blah.
Changes names 100 times.
Yeah, eventually it stops distribution in 1955, and in the 90s completely shuts down altogether.
Sad. What happened in 2016?
2016, distilling begins again after reconstruction. Jacob Call, the Call family, everyone who's probably familiar with them, was the master distiller. And guess what happened in 2022?
Does it involve a bourbon big boy?
Yes. Purchased by Bardstown Bourbon Company. And now the master distiller is Aaron Harris. So that's where we are with Green River.
It's a good spot to be in if you're Green River. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, you've got the pedigree, right? The history, which again, it all burned down, but you have the name. And then number two, if you're going to be owned by somebody, you want to be owned by somebody like Bardstown Bourbon Company,
right? Who
is doing things the absolute right way with transparency and just no corners cut. Like, yeah, it's a good spot to be in.
Bardstown Bourbon Company is becoming like a bourbon juggernaut. And not only producing their own spirits, but contract producing, and I believe Green River's contract producing for other distilleries as well.
I heard that as well, that Green River is producing a lot for other people. What's the age statement on this particular bottle?
There is no age statement.
Oh, shock.
But I did gather from their website that at least the single barrels are all minimum of 5 years.
That's pretty good for a single barrel. How about MSRP? What we pay for this?
MSRP $59.99 at Johnos Liquors, which is where I purchased this bottle.
Excellent. Any other stats you can give us?
Not bad at all for a 5-year single barrel. 119 proof, so it's a full-proof bourbon.
How about mash bill?
Mash bill. You want to talk about? I'll let you talk about.
No. I want you to tell me.
Okay, so 70% corn, grown
corn.
in Kentucky. 21% rye, which I know you're going to like, and 9% malted barley.
I love both of those second
Let's
numbers.
get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, great color.
Yep. Nice deep copper color.
Yeah.
It's got the nice cling to the glass.
Yeah, really. It's kind of syrupy.
Yep.
I like how it doesn't want to move around.
No, it doesn't. You're right. It's like it doesn't even want to get up there on the glass.
It's like trying to swirl Jell-O. Ooh. What?
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Picking up a little bit of that rye funk.
Has a funky nose. Like there's a little bit of corn sweetness there. Like a little bit of, I don't know what that.
I'm getting, so a little bit of that pine.
Really?
Mixed with that musty grape note that I usually pick up, and almost a little bit of an apple note.
Now I get the tree fruit. I get a little bit of the apple fruit. I am a little concerned that there is no ethanol on the nose.
Yeah.
I don't get hardly any ethanol.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, 119 proof, not exactly low proof, but it's got that musty funky is what I keep coming back to. Like I'm trying to pick out things. I get a little bit of fruit, but I'm excited. I'm
starting to pick up a little bit of vanilla there.
Well, I'm drinking it now.
Let's get it.
We cheers.
Man. You want to go or you want me to start?
If you would have poured this for me and said, what do you think of this? I would have immediately said, boy, that's a great rye. That would have been the first word, like, it is very spicy.
That rye hits you right up front.
Right up front.
Right in the mouth.
And the mouthfeel is exactly how it behaved in the glass. Like it has a very thick and creamy mouthfeel. And it's a little overpowering on the rye spice of just, you get that tingle on your tongue and it coats your whole mouth. Like my whole mouth is kind of tingling in a good way. Very much a rye drinker's bourbon. I'm going to drink another one while you
I would agree. So while I'm sitting here listening to you, I want to talk about the finish. Finish kind of dries up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of the finish. It's not bad. It's just
It just kind of stops.
Yeah, just kind of stops. I will go with you. I mean, that rye spice hits you right up front. I like it. It's kind of balanced out though. Once it hits the back of your tongue and the middle of your tongue, you pick up the caramels, there's a dark fruit note too. I'm getting there a little bit.
Yeah. The word that jumps into my mind is polarizing.
Yeah.
I think this would be a very polarizing. If you were expecting if you didn't do any research and you talked to a buddy and they said, oh, this is a great bourbon, you should try it, and you find the single barrel and you're thinking you're going to have a single barrel, five-year-old single barrel bourbon experience, it's not what you're getting in this one. This is an intense, peppery rye bomb up front that just slugs you right in the face, and then you're left to pick through the pieces.
Yeah.
And try
not hot though.
It's not hot. This is not. I'm not. When I say spicy, peppery, spicy,
not hot.
I'm talking flavor. Yeah. I'm not talking alcohol. It is an incredibly drinkable bottle. Like I get no ethanol. I get no Kentucky Hug on 119 proof.
Have you ever ate one of the
probably?
So you get the boxes of chocolates, right? And you've got the one. It's caramel with chocolate, salted chocolate caramel.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. And then you throw in that rye spice. To me, that's what this is. It's a salted chocolate caramel candy with rye spice.
I'm not getting a lot of the caramel.
No?
No. I get
like it's heavy for me.
I'm jealous. I like caramel because I'm fat. I tell you, I'm really surprised. I didn't know what to expect, right? But it wasn't this. I mean, it is a very intense rye flavor up front. But I mean, it's almost numbing.
I like it. Yeah, it's interesting. I wish the finish lingered a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it's 5 years old. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get a cascading oak finish from a 5-year-old. I think
now the spice stays on the finish.
The spice does. The spice lingers around. I'm starting to pick up now what you were talking about. I'm starting to get a little bit of that sweetness. Mine's more of a dark chocolate.
Yes. It's not like super sweet.
Yeah, no, it's not super sweet. It is super spicy. And I like bourbon, and we talk about this a lot. I like bourbons that are challenging and that surprise you and are interesting and are outside of the norm, because one of the things in bourbon is a lot of bourbons just taste like bourbon, right? Like it's all like, if you blinded,
amalgamated.
It's this. That's not what this is. Like, this is a really surprising, interesting bottle. I don't think I've ever gotten that much rye spice, and we drink a lot of rye,
right?
Like a lot of really good rye, 95.5 rye from MGP, and
this would be a great bottle to put in a blind.
Yeah. And just mess with people's heads.
And
just be like, they're all bourbons. Yeah. And you'd be like, no. I tell you the other thing that I think would be an amazing, not that I'm a big cocktail guy, that's more your department. I think this would hold up. Like, this would make an amazing old fashioned.
Yeah.
Because of that spiciness and then mellowed out and how proofy it is. I really like this bottle. I really do. And it's hard not to be romantic about single barrel bourbons, because if you're watching this, you could go to your local liquor store and they have a single barrel Green River,
may taste totally
and your
different.
experience will be totally different than ours. So if you're in Central Kentucky, go to Johnos and try to track this one down, because it is super unique. But if you're anywhere else that has a Green River, try it and tell us what yours tastes like in the comments.
Yeah, I really like that, and it drinks really nicely for 119 proof.
Incredibly mellow. Like, besides the spice and the flavor, it's an incredibly mellow for 119.
All right, are we gonna rate it?
Yeah.
Do it.
3. No, I'm kidding.
I want to rate something a 3. We need to start slumming it a little bit.
We can slum if you want. I really don't know how to rate this one, because I'm really conflicted because of how unique it is. I'm going to go very much middle of the road and give it a 6.875.
Okay.
Because it is a single barrel, so you have to take that into account. That's not widely available. But $60, 5 years old, and to get that character, you know what? I'll go up to a 7. I'll give it a 7. I really like that. That's a very unique. Go ahead and say 7.
No. Now that you've gone to a 7, which I didn't want to do, I didn't want to say 7 because I feel like that's
average.
Give everything a 7.
Maybe most bourbons are.
So here's the thing: 119 proof, single barrel, $59.99. Plus, it's super interesting. I am gonna knock it for the finish, which okay, but big deal. 6.75.
That's what I was going.
I really want to get it a 7, but since you gave it a 7, I'm going to give it a 6.75.
Go ahead and give it a 7 too. This is absolutely going to be one, because this is a little higher proof and we've got the neck pour out of the way. Stay tuned. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, because we will do a 60-second review of this, revisiting this after the episode. Let it air out a little bit. You know what?
I'm revising. I'm giving it a 7. That's not fair to this bottle. Just to rate it lower just because you gave it a 7.
It's not fair to the nice folks at Green River.
Yes. And I love salted caramel. So
super interesting. And if you're a rye drinker, definitely check it out. Like, really interesting bottle.
For sure. And while you're on that, don't forget to check us out on Instagram, So on the Bourbon, TikTok, Whiskey Realtor.
And make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube, because that's, the whole point.
And what else should they do?
You got to keep them wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Got it. I got it. Don't worry, I get. There is no need to have a faux tack strip. I know.
People like to see it.
I know, but it doesn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense.
That was
Charlie.
weird.
It's bourbon. In this bourbon economy, nothing makes sense. It doesn't make sense that your hands make the bottle look like it's this big.
Well, you know what Andre the Giant says? I can't help being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
Green River. Moon River and Green Acres. I want to like mix them together.
Moon Acres is the place.
Green River is the place to be.
Tonight, we review Green River Distillery. Nope, terrible. Redo it again. Okay. Just start over. It's less you have to edit. Ready. River.